Diki. I am 41 years old, and I live in Anaheim, California. I am a mother, an aunt, and a devout Muslim woman. The story I'm about to share with you, it has completely changed the way I see life, death, and everything that comes after. If you had asked me a few months ago if I believed in near-death experiences or visions of the afterlife, I would have smiled politely, shaken my head, and replied with something courteous but undoubtedly skeptical. I believed in what the Quran taught, in the paradise promised to the righteous, but I never imagined I would see it for myself. Until one completely ordinary night, everything changed. It was a late afternoon in November of 2023. I remember it clearly because the air had just started to turn crisp. That gentle Southern California chill that makes you want to grab a shawl and brew a cup of hot mint tea. I had spent the afternoon with my two precious nieces, Ibrahim and Yasmin, helping them bake cookies for a school fundraiser. Ibrahim is 7, mischievous and full of life, while Yasmin, at 10, is thoughtful and wise beyond her years. The kitchen was a happy mess of flour, laughter, and chocolate chips. I can still hear the sound of their giggles, like tiny, perfect bells chiming in my mind. It was one of those small, perfect moments, the kind of peace you never want to let go of. That evening, I drove home, my heart full. The streetlights cast a soft glow on the lingering puddles from the rain. A gentle nasheed played on the radio, and the car heater hummed like a lullaby. Nothing was out of the ordinary. I was about 15 minutes from home when I started to feel something strange, a dull, heavy feeling spreading across my chest, not exactly pain, but like a silent warning from within. I tried to ignore it, thinking it was just fatigue, but then it came, fast, violent, like a tornado of pain tearing through my chest. I remember gripping the steering wheel, trying to pull over, but everything went black before I could. I don't remember any sound after that. The next thing I knew was a profound, bottomless stillness. Not a scary silence, but a complete absence of noise, of chaos, of all the familiar things of earthly life. I understood instantly. I was no longer in my body, and the strangest part, I wasn't afraid. There was no pain, no confusion, only a sense of release, so light it felt like I was being lifted on the air. The peace was beyond language. It felt as if I had just stepped out of a lifelong shadow and was walking into the light for the very first time. The space around me was both infinite and strangely intimate. Everything seemed to vibrate with life, but not life as we know it. Light was everywhere, not blinding, but warm, like a campfire in the desert night, like thousands of gently lit candles. The colors I saw are impossible to describe. It was as if my eyes could now see frequencies of light I never knew existed while I was alive. And the feeling, oh, that feeling, it was like love, but deeper than love. It enveloped me, not to contain me, but to fill me to overflowing, as if I had finally come home. As I was still soaking in that incredible feeling of being held by a light and a love no words could ever capture, I suddenly heard a voice. It was unlike any voice I had ever heard, powerful, yet incredibly gentle. It felt as if it could pierce my soul, exposing every hidden thing, while simultaneously comforting me like a mother holding a crying child. Only one word was spoken, Layla, my name, but the way it was uttered, it made my heart ache with recognition. In those two simple syllables was a love that surpassed everything I had ever known, prayed for, or hoped for. I turned, or at least, I felt myself turn, and behind me, a brilliant light was radiating. At first, I thought it was just the light, but then the light took shape, becoming clearer. It was an angel. He looked nothing like the images I had imagined. No white wings, no fairy tale halo. This being was majestic and glorious. It was as if all of heaven was present in his form. The light from him didn't blind me. It was warm like a holy fire burning in a hearth. And his eyes, oh, those eyes, they were like galaxies swirling in an endless depth, filled with knowledge, mercy, and something that took my breath away. A sacred sorrow. The angel looked at me, his voice resonating again, once more both solemn and gentle. Do not be afraid. The Lord, the Most High, has sent me to show you what is coming. Before I could ask a question, we began to move, not walking, not flying, not floating, just shifting, as if a mere thought could transport this soul body anywhere. Before my eyes, everything swirled into a stream of light, like passing through a tunnel made of dawn itself. It wasn't cold or dizzying. On the contrary, it was exhilarating, like a child running through the morning mist for the first time. And then, we stopped. Before me was the earth, but not seen from a satellite or a map. I was looking from the outside, yet I could see deeper than the surface. Cities sparkled like embers in the night, but strangely, a darkness was slowly covering the world. Not a physical darkness, but a thick black fog, like an ominous cloud spreading in silence. It wasn't loud, but it was heavy. I could feel the anxiety, the deception, and the despair seeping from it. I asked, the question bubbling up from my intuition. What is that darkness? The angel replied, it is the deception of the end times, spreading across the world. It comes softly, but it is powerful, and it will not stop unless there is light. I swallowed hard, but then, amidst the black fog, I saw points of light, tiny, but brilliant, like little stars shining through the gloom. What are those lights? I asked. The angel smiled. Those are the prayers, the real prayers from those who are truly seeking God, not out of habit, but with their entire soul. Those prayers push back the darkness, no matter how overwhelming it seems. A warm wave of hope washed over me. But the angel wasn't finished. A new vision appeared. I saw crowded churches, mosques, and religious centers, places where people were singing, chanting, repeating rituals. But many of them were asleep, not physically asleep, spiritually. Their eyes were open, their mouths were praying, but their hearts were dry. It was as if they were performing a learned routine. The words were correct, but the soul was empty. I felt a strange sadness, because I had been just like that. But then, I saw something that made my heart tremble. Sparks of fire, small, but burning intensely. In kitchens, living rooms, quiet, coffee shops, small groups were gathered around the Bible. No noise, no fame, but filled with a desperate hunger. They wept as they read God's word. They asked real questions. They prayed with an earnestness as if it was the only thing keeping them alive. The angel said, a great awakening is coming, but it will not look like anything the world has seen before. It will not come from big stages or famous names. It will come through humble hearts, through awakened souls. In the places no one is looking, tears fell from my spiritual eyes. But the next vision made my heart clench. I saw people who thought they were believers. They knew the right answers. They performed the right rituals, but their hearts had never truly surrendered. They had never truly met the one they claimed to follow. The angel's voice grew stern, yet was still filled with mercy. It is not enough to know about him. They must know him. At that moment, the scene changed. A giant clock appeared, but it had no hands, no numbers. Instead, there were events, wars, natural disasters, crises, technological breakthroughs, appearing in an order like pieces of a divine puzzle. I didn't understand all of it, but I knew the time was very, very near. I stood beside the angel, looking down at an earth I had never seen before. Not the blue marble from science books, not a political map of borders. This was a spiritual reality, where human souls, prayers, darkness, and light were as visible as living currents of energy. I saw the darkness, a thick black fog, churning and covering the continents. It didn't move quickly. It seeped. It trickled, quietly, but with certainty. It clouded hearts. It chilled faith. It imprisoned souls in invisible cages. I saw people praying, but the light from them was weak, like dying embers. I heard songs rising from churches, mosques, and holy centers, but many of the voices were empty, lifeless. Their lips moved, but their hearts were lost. I turned to the angel, my voice choked with emotion. Why? Why don't they see what is coming? He didn't answer immediately. Instead, the angel raised his hand, and the scene changed. I saw churches filled with people. In some places, the light was bright, the singing was vibrant, but the light didn't go deep. It stopped at the surface. I understood instantly. Many were gathering, but very few were truly connecting with God. They are sleeping, the angel said, not their bodies, their souls.